සම්පූරිතා පමිත පාරමිතා බලේන විද්වංසියෝ කිල කිලේස සමෝහජාලං තේනේව ලන්ද අරහං අරහෝති නාමං වන්දාමි බුද්ධ මමලං හදයේ තපෙත්වා නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one. Venerable sirs, friends in Dhamma, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to welcome all of you to the Bhavana Society, West Virginia. Today you came to this monastery in order to offer dana to the Mahasangha and for preparing Buddha Puja to the Supreme Buddha. When we practice generosity or dana, especially when we offer something to the Mahasangha, we have a very special benefit, result. What is that? We have a chance to listen to what the Blessed One explained. Even though you offered a lot of things to the Mahasangha, if you don't listen to Dhamma, actually you haven't received the real results through practicing generosity. When we offer something to the Mahasangha kindly, we should have to listen to Buddha's message. That is the highest benefit. When someone meets you, if they know that you practice Dhamma, they ask some questions from you. What do you know about the Dhamma? What do you practice at this moment? Through that discussion, they understand where you are in, what you practice. That is very important. Buddhism says, 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃. We understand the wisdom of wise people through discussing. Discussion is the main important thing. When we practice generosity, we meet good association. We meet virtuous persons. Through associating virtuous person, we have an opportunity to listen to what the Blessed One explained. That is the highest result. Here especially, when we offer something to the Mahasangha, as Buddhist monks, we have a very huge duty in order to explain the Dhamma, what the Blessed One explained. Buddha says, in one side, we develop our human qualities. On the other side, we cultivate our spiritual faculties. We should understand these ways. One of them is that the human qualities. Even though someone doesn't know the Buddha's message, all of people in this world, they like human qualities. They respect the people in this world. And also when we come to the Dhamma, we can see very special doctrines in Buddhism, how directly help us to cultivate our happiness. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone. The Buddha says, Santutti Paramandanam. Happiness or contentment is the greatest treasure. For our happiness, what should we do? The Buddha says, 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃𝓀𝒶, purifying one's mind. If someone asks you that, what is the message of the Buddha in short? This is the answer. The Buddha says, 𝒬𝑺𝑒 not to do any evils, 𝒂𝓏 practicing good deeds, and 𝒮𝓃 purifying one's mind. This is the message of the Buddha in short. All of us should know this stanza. 𝒬𝑺𝑒 කුසලස්ස උපසම්පදා සචිත්ත පරියෝදකනම් ඒතං බුද්ධං ශාසනං. I think our children, you know this stanza? Yes, this is the message of the Buddha in short. If someone asks you what is the message of the Buddha, actually this is the answer. We should explain it. In short, the Buddha's message is that 𝒮𝑐𝑖tta pariyodhakanam, purifying one's mind. Why do we need to purify our mind? For our happiness. Whenever our mind is polluted with negative thoughts, such as with anger, lust, jealousy, conceit, if we have these negative thoughts in our minds, are we happy? No, we have no real happiness, inner peace, whenever our mind is polluted with these negative thoughts. That is why we should overcome these negative thoughts from our mind. The Buddha's message explains the path how we overcome these negativities from our minds. For that, in one side, we should develop our human values. On the other side, we should cultivate our spiritual faculties, inner qualities. Buddha explains very clearly, as human beings, the highest quality that we should have. What is that? Even though someone doesn't know the Buddha's message, as humans, what is the highest quality? What is the main quality? What is the foundation of all qualities? Yes, the Buddha says, Kevalahe bhikkhave sappursa bhumi yadidam katanyuta katavedi. All good qualities depend on gratitude. Being grateful is the highest quality. Gratitude is the foundation of all good qualities. Therefore, we should be grateful. Buddha says, whatever we do as good qualities, good things in our day-to-day life, the foundation of all good qualities is that gratitude. When we are grateful, we are generous. When we are generous, we are grateful. Gratitude and generosity are interrelated. From morning to night, from birth to death, in our four forces, if we do some good qualities, the foundation of all good qualities is that gratitude. Even if you clean your body, wash your body, that is also belongs to gratitude. If you clean your house, if you wash your car, that is also gratitude. If you do your job righteously, honestly, perfectly, that is also gratitude. If we worship our parents, if we take care of our parents, if we worship the Buddha, if we offer something to the Mahasangha, all of them belongs to gratitude. Therefore, Buddha says very clearly, gratitude is the foundation of all good qualities as a human quality. On the other side, there is another quality in our spiritual life, which is saddha, or confidence in what the Blessed One explained. Saddha mulika sabbhe kusala dhamma. Saddha, faith, or confidence in what the Blessed One explained is the foundation of all the wholesome activities. We trust in what the Buddha says, what the Blessed One explained. He explained the path of purification, sacitta pariyodakanam. There we should develop our right view, right understanding. Right understanding leads to go forward on our spiritual path. Sammaditthi. The Buddha says very clearly, Sammaditthi puredavam. Right understanding is the forerunner. Right understanding is the forerunner. We should have correct vision, then mission. Vision is first, then mission. Vision without mission is useless. Mission without vision is blind. Mission without vision is blind. Vision without mission is useless. You know, when you go to a place or institute, firstly you can see our vision and our mission. Every place you can see in the board. When you enter a place, this is our vision, this is our mission. When we come to the Buddha's message, here also we can see vision and mission as well. Vision means Sammaditthi, Jnana, Panya, Dassana Sampatti. There are several synonyms that we can see for the vision, what the Blessed One explained. Vision can be divided into two things. One of them is the vision in the mundane level based on the conventional truth. The second one, vision, belongs to the ultimate truth based on the ultimate truth. The very first one is the vision based on the conventional truth in the mundane level. What is that? Whatever we do with intention, physically, verbally or mentally, according to our intention, we will receive the same results. When our mind is polluted, our results are evil. Whenever our mind is pure and calm, the results are fruitful. Whenever we do something with a wicked mind, physically, verbally or mentally, we have to suffer. Suffering follows us because of impure mind, wicked mind. On the other side, if we do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally or mentally, happiness follows us because of pure mind. This is the very first step of Sammaditthi, or right understanding. This is the very first place where we should confident in what the Supreme Buddha explained. Whenever our mind is polluted, our activities are incorrect, then suffering follows us because of impure mind. Whenever we do something with a pure mind, happiness follows us because of pure mind. This is the very first step of right understanding or correct vision. If we have this understanding and also if we trust in this message, we are confident in this message and also we try to overcome negativities and we try to do good activities, good karma as much as we can. As a result of this understanding, we practice three meritorious deeds: Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. Generosity, virtue, and meditation. Sharing something with others, practicing 5 precepts, and Metta Bhavana or loving kindness meditation. The more we practice these three meritorious deeds, the more we cultivate our inner peace, happiness. This belongs to the conventional truth. This doesn't belong to the ultimate truth. Since we think there is a world around us, we think there is a world before we came to the world. When we associate the world, there is a world. Even though we leave the world remains. This is the nature of the conventional truth. Here we can see some changes in this world. Little by little we are going to old age, sickness, finally death. We can see the leaves fall down and changing everything around the world. Actually, these things belong to the conventional truth. In this world, we can cultivate some good karma in our life. And also we can receive some results in this life and hereafter. As a result of practicing generosity, virtue, and metta bhavana, we can cultivate our happiness. We can develop good karma, meritorious deeds, spiritual energy. It helps us to develop our happiness, but it doesn't help us to overcome the samsaric circle completely. Having this understanding, we can offer something to someone. We can practice generosity. We can practice 5 precepts. We can practice samatha bhavana, especially metta bhavana. We can reduce hindrances, 5 hindrances in this level: sensual pleasure, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, skeptical doubts. We can reduce these negativities from our mind by practicing especially samatha bhavana or concentration meditation. The more we practice samatha bhavana or concentration meditation, the more we are able to reduce hindrances. The more we reduce hindrances, the more we can develop rapture or piti, happiness. You have heard the good jhana anga, vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata, finally upekkha. These qualities belong to the conventional truth in the mundane level. Here we can develop rapture or piti. Piti as a jhana anga, as a fact of jhana. We can cultivate happiness, reducing negative thoughts from our mind in this level. When you practice the samatha bhavana, contemplating on this, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. This is the way how we practice metta bhavana. And also we can practice Buddha Anusati, Araham, Samma Sambuddho, Vidyacharana Sampanno, Sugato, so on. Again and again, when we contemplate on these things, we can purify our mind, we can concentrate our mind in the present moment. And also we can practice breathing meditation, breathing in and out. Keeping our attention in the present moment, we are aware of our breathing in and out. Dear Dhamma friends, we have 40 meditation techniques that belong to samatha bhavana. In Buddhism, there are 14 meditation techniques that help us to concentrate our mind in the present moment, reducing hindrances. As a result of practicing this path, finally we can come to 𝒶𝓃𝓾 or equanimity. As a result of practicing fourth jhana, we can come to อุเบกขา ēkaggata sahitan caturtha jhanam viharati. With the attention of equanimity and stillness, we can come to equanimity. We can make a balanced mind in this mundane level. When we come to this level, mentally we are like in the Brahma realm. Even though physically we are in the human realm, mentally we are in the Brahma realm. Buddhism explains the path how we make a Brahma realm in this immediate life, human life. We are so fortunate. Even though we come to this level, still we are in the samsaric circle because of ignorance or delusion. What is the delusion? What is the ignorance or avidya in Buddhism? We think there is a world which consists with the material world. Even though we don't contact the world, there is a world around us. When we were born in this world, there was a world. When we live in the world, there is a world. Even though we die in this world, the world will remain. This is the nature of the ignorance. If our attention or intention in this level, it means we are still in the samsaric circle. We are not away from decay, sickness, sorrow, lamentation, death. Buddha explained the path, how we overcome this circle. Before Buddha did his renunciation, as a layperson, Buddha realized the changing or viparinama. You know, before Buddha did his renunciation, abhinikkamana, he understood. He saw that ledek, mahallek, malaminiya, sickness, decay, and death were realized by the Buddha before he did his renunciation. He had realized aging, sickness, death, sorrow, lamentation before he attained enlightenment. After he attained enlightenment, the Buddha says very clearly, Pobbe anunusutyesu dhammesu 𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒑padi. Buddha says, I realized something when I attained Buddhahood that I had never heard. You know, when we look at outside, we can see changing. This was understood by the Buddha before he attained enlightenment. What the Buddha realized when he attained enlightenment? He says, Pubbaya anunusutyesu dhammesu, I realized something that I had never heard from anyone. There Buddha understood the impermanence that is not just changing. You know, changing can be understood by anyone, even scientists. They divide atoms and they understand how the world changing. But Buddha understood not just changing, but impermanence or anicca. What is that? Ahutva sambhutam hutva na bhavisati. Not being occurred comes to occurrence, being occurred will not go to occurrence. This is the highest concept in Buddhism based on the Paticca dependent origination. Not being occurred comes to occurrence, being occurred will not go to occurrence. This present experience didn't come to the present from the past. This present experience will not go to future from the present. But the past experience influences the present moment. The present moment influences the next moment. But nothing goes to the future permanently. This concept based on the Paticca for the dependent origination. When this is, this is. When this is not, this is not. When we open our eyes, we can see the world. This world arises at the present moment according to our senses, eye, ear, nose, so on. These organs or senses arise at the moment according to our mental situation. When our mental situation changes, immediately our senses change. When the senses change, immediately the entire world changes. Now, as human beings, we see the walls around us. We are unable to go through the walls. If there is a God or divine being or ghost here, he can see the walls and also he can go through the walls without opening doors. That is the nature of their senses. That is the nature of their mental situation. According to humans, at this moment, we are unable to go through these walls. This is the nature of our senses. And also, even we are human beings. If we can cultivate our mind and concentration, and also if we are able to attain some jhanas and abhijna, especially 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃, we can see everything, we can hear everything, we can go through the walls. This is the nature of our senses. This situation, these senses, every moment we create. This is the nature of our life. Not only that, here we understand how suffering arises and how suffering ceases. Here we understand the Four Noble Truths. Suffering, the arising of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path that leads to getting rid of suffering, based on Paticca. Whenever we think there is a world, our mind depends on the material world. It means we are not away from decay, sickness, death, sorrow and lamentation. You know, we can contact something at the present moment. We can see the colors, we can hear sounds, we can feel the smell. We can contact something at the present moment. But when we understand it, when we understand the material world, the very first experience has already ceased. Our eye forms, eye contact, eye consciousness, these things arise at the moment with the conditions. They immediately cease at the moment. When we understand something, we understand everything through our mind consciousness. When we understand something through our mind consciousness, our five senses, five external objects, five consciousnesses have already ceased. This is the place where I should be confident in what the Buddha explained. Whenever we have this understanding, our mind doesn't depend on anything in the material world. At the same time, we reflect on the impermanence of our mind consciousness to 𝒃𝓃 vipassati. In one side, we understand the material world which consists with the four fundamental elements: earth element, water element, fire element, air element. Based on these four fundamental elements, the material world has already ceased when we understand it. Not only that, if we have mind consciousness that we understand about this reality, that mind consciousness also arises and ceases at the present moment. If we have this understanding, 𝒮𝓃 ℮𝐾𝓀𝒶 𝑡𝒀𝑗𝑗. If we have this understanding, our mind doesn't depend on the material world based on the four fundamental elements. It means we have overcome suffering, decay, death, sickness, sorrow, lamentation. At the same time, we reflect on the impermanence of our mind and mental formations too. With this understanding, our mind doesn't depend on anything in the outside world or even inside. We understand that every moment we create the world, we create five aggregates every moment. They arise and cease at the moment. This is the place where we should be confident in. Until you develop your confidence in this message, this is only the knowledge, not panya or wisdom. A lot of people know this message sometimes, but they don't trust it, they don't faith in it, they don't confident in it. When we listen to this message, if we are confident in this message, then we have saddha. Saddha molika sabbepi kusala dhamma. Confidence is the foundation of all spiritual faculties. If we have this confidence, we dedicate our entire life in order to practice this Dhamma. Then we meet the Dhamma, our practice. What is the practice? The Noble Eightfold Path. This is the map. This is a spiritual map that we have to practice to achieve the liberation, overcoming the samsaric circle. Samma Ditthi, right understanding. Samma Sankappa, right intention. Samma Vacha, right speech. Samma Kammanta, right action. Samma Vayama, right effort. Samma Ajiva, right livelihood. Samma Sati, right mindfulness. And Samma Samadhi, right concentration. If we have the confidence in about the path of purification, about the path of getting rid of suffering, immediately we find the path. Arya-ṭaṅgika magga. We do all activities in our day-to-day life from morning to night, giving the priority for practice this path. We know very well we have no any option in order to overcome suffering. Even though we have a lot of children who are well educated, they can save us from suffering. we should cultivate the spiritual path within us by practicing Dhamma. Attadipa bhikkhu viratata saranana anya sarana. Dwell with yourself as an island, as a refuge, with no other refuge. Dhammadipa bhikkhu viratata dhamma saranana anya sarana. Dwell with the Dhamma as an island, as a refuge, with no other refuge. As a result of offering Dhamma to the Mahasangha, this is the gift you receive. Dhamma. Sabbadanan Dhammadanan Jinati. The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts. You very kindly offer Dhamma to the Mahasangha, coming for far away, I know very well. You earn money righteously, hard, I know very well. We know very well. When you offer Dhamma to the Mahasangha, our duty is to explain this Dhamma in the highest level. In the mundane level, with the understanding of the karmic law, we have to practice 3 meritorious deeds: generosity, 5 precepts, and metta bhavana or samatha bhavana. And in the mundane level, we have to practice sila, samadhi, panya, virtue, concentration, and wisdom based on the Noble Eightfold Path. Then we realize anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, dissatisfactedness or suffering, and selflessness. Everything arises and ceases at the moment. If you have this understanding, we train our mind to live in the present moment. The present moment is the most valuable moment in our life. Since our past has already ceased, future hasn't come yet. We have only the present moment. The highest technique that helps us to train our mind in the present moment is that anapanasati bhavana, mindful breathing. With that understanding, we practice our mindful breathing. When we practice mindful breathing, the fourfold mindfulnesses gradually develop. When we cultivate fourfold mindfulnesses, the 7 enlightenment factors gradually develop sattva bojjhanga. As the result of cultivating the 7 enlightenment factors, we fulfill the Noble Eightfold Path. Finally, we see only impermanence which happens in our life. Arising and ceasing of our 5 aggregates, or in short, mentality and corporeality, nama and rupa. That is the nama rupa 𝒃𝓃 ஞான, the knowledge of mentality and corporeality. Understanding of mentality and corporeality, nama rupa 𝒃𝓃 ඥාන. If we don't understand this reality, our mind depends on the material world. Whenever our mind depends on the material world, we are in the samsaric circle. We are not away from suffering. We have to face decay, aging, sickness, death, sorrow, lamentation. All sufferings come to our mind whenever our mind depends on the material world or persons. If we can understand, I create my daughter or son at this present moment according to my mental situation, then we can release from the material world or persons. We can live together at the same home, overcoming or getting rid of suffering. We should not leave our children, our relatives, our friends, associating with our children, relatives and friends living at home. By practicing Dhamma, we can let it go from the world, understanding this reality. For that, I wish you all the best by the power of listening to this message. May all your spiritual and educational goals meet with success. Finally, all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If you have any Dhamma question, you can ask. Our children, gentlemen, Bhantes, ladies, if you have any question, you can ask in English or Sinhala. Either. Yes, please.
In English it says not self, but in Sinhala it says anatma. It says anatma sounds more like not soul. Then in Buddhism, Dr. Thero said we can say it's not soul or it is soul. So not self makes sense because it's not soul anything. But when it's translated to anatma, it's kind of so basically confusion. That's what I'm going to say.
Anatta means these three things are interrelated. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means everything, every moment arises and ceases based on the Patisampada. And also dukkha means unsatisfactoriness. Because of this impermanence, we are not satisfied. That is why always we find new things. We have to make new friends again and again because of this unsatisfactoriness. And selflessness, so anatta means we can control them. Anatta is explained in Buddhist teachings. One day a person came to Buddha and he says everything is atta. He didn't trust in anatta. Then that person was a very old man. Buddha says, if you can control, if you have anything that you can take as atta, you had to control your physical body. Why you came to this old age? If you should have self, if you had self, you had to be a young person. Why did you come to the old age? Why do we have a stick at this moment? This is the way how we explain anatta. It's something that we had as atta or self, we have to control them. If there is something in this world as atta, we don't need hospitals, cemeteries, elder homes. We all are very young. We can live forever. Anatta means nothing we have in this life that we can control. That is the nature of anatta. We can control this anatta. We have to only understand it. We can change the impermanence, dissatisfactoriness or selflessness. We have to realize it. The more we have realized it, we accept it. We don't suffer when we face these three characteristics. Then we come to the equanimity, upekkha. We accept this reality as it is. We don't struggle with these three things. But the problem is, the world always try to change these things. Buddha says very clearly, beings who are in this world, associating with the things and persons who are subject to decay, sickness and death, they wish that no one should be subject to decay, sickness and death. That is the problem. We know very well, Jara Dhamma, Vyadi Dhamma, Marana Dhamma. Even someone becomes the Arahanthood, enlightenment, still they have the Jara Dhamma, Vyadi Dhamma, Marana Dhamma, but they don't have Marana Dukkha, Jara Dukkha, Vyadi Dukkha. That is the difference between the ordinary person and the Arahant. Arahant has realized decay, sickness and death. Even though they have understood these realities, they are subject to aging, sickness and death, but they don't have suffering in these three things. In Anatta, we understand I have nothing to control in this physical world. Then we try to train our mind, we try to discipline our mind. When we discipline our mind, we have nothing to change in the outside world. We have to change our perception. When we change our perception, there are several discourses that explains even though the external world are impure, changing our perception, we can associate anything according to our perception. We have to change just our perception. Finally, Buddhism explains the way how we change our perception. Immediately, when we change our perception, we can associate the world as we like. Finally, we come to equanimity. When we see the world has already ceased, and also if we see this mental situation, our mind consciousness also arises and ceases at the moment, we immediately come to upekkha. That means sankhara upekkha jnana. That upekkha is not just the upekkha jnana. Fourth jnana depends on the conventional truth in the mundane level. This upekkha, this equanimity belongs to satta bojjhanga, upekkha sambojjhanga, based on the ultimate truth in the supramundane level. This is the final result of our practice. We come to upekkha. We accept the world as it is. Okay, thank you for your good attention and listening. Have you any other question? Or gentlemen? Yes.
You also mentioned that, okay, we should live in the present moment. So I have seen many people who practice, they get attached to the present moment, but it is more like, this is so that when if you feel like this is all, you feel it just for a moment. But most people are like, okay, we should not worry about past and think about, they just live the present. So it's like most people are actually take advantage of the present moment rather than, and then move on. So how do you
here we should understand a very important thing in Buddhism, mindfulness and mindfulness meditation. Mostly we can see many people explain mindfulness in the present world. Mindfulness is very famous in the present world. They mostly think that mindfulness means forget your past, forget your future, live in the present moment. That is their mindfulness. That is not Buddhist mindfulness. Mindfulness and mindfulness meaning in Buddhism are different. Mindfulness means based on the present moment in the material world, in the mundane level, we are silent. We come to equanimity, such as keeping our attention in breathing in and out. We keep our attention in the present moment. Still we based on the material world. This breathing in and out, it is the conventional truth. In the mundane level. That is mindfulness in Buddhism. Here we come to equanimity. That equanimity is based on the conventional truth. There is a world. I keep my attention in the present moment. I come to equanimity, reducing attachment and anger. Not delusion. Still we have delusion. When we come to the next level of mindfulness, which is mindfulness meditation, that is based on the ultimate truth in the supramundane level. What is that? That mindfulness meditation, you can refer the discourse of Vibhanga Sutta, which comes in Samyutta Nikaya, in Satipatthana Samyutta. Vibhanga Sutta, there it explains that mindfulness and mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation means vipassana bhava, reflecting on arising and ceasing of the five aggregates of mentality and corporeality. Mindfulness meditation means we reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of the mentality and corporeality. Especially, we reflect on the impermanence of the material world. Every moment we create the world, it completely ceases at the moment. When we understand it, the material world has already ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. That mind consciousness is also not permanent. It is also impermanent. It arises and ceases at the moment. Then, firstly, we release from the material world. Next, we release from even our mentality or mind and mental formations too. Then we come to equanimity. That equanimity means Suññato lokang avikkhasso. Suññato loko avikkhasso. Then we see the world as emptiness. That is the highest level equanimity what the Buddhism explains. Then we have nothing to take as permanent in the material world or even in our mental world or mentality. Therefore, when we listening to some sermons about the mindfulness, we should be very careful. Mostly they explain mindfulness based on the material world in the mundane level. That is just mindfulness. But Buddhism explains another thing which is mindfulness meditation. That is vipassana bhavana, insight meditation. Reflecting on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our five aggregates, form, perception, feeling, mental formations, and consciousness. These five aggregates, every moment they arise at the moment, they immediately cease and know. Then we come to the real equanimity, which is appreciated by the Supreme Buddha, our spiritual teacher. Okay, for that I wish you all the best. By the power of the spirituality that you accrue through listening to Dhamma, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May all your spiritual and especially our children's educational goals meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantāca nirdukkhaṃ, bhayam pantāca nirbhayam, sokam pantāca nissokhaṃ, hontu sabbe pipānino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.